Hey guys, welcome to our review of How to Train Your Dragon, the live action adaptation version. Obviously, the animated version came out in 2010. That's 15 years ago.
We added more CGI.
And I remember I was like, man, it's like I'm going off my memory of one watch in the original a long time ago. I really enjoyed it.
It was good, yes.
I remember it being an extremely heartfelt story. I think they've had 2 additional films to make it a trilogy in animated form. I haven't seen those, so you're going to get a perspective of a kind of a new, fresh fan in here. Then they had some short films and stuff, but Dreamworks is following suit of Disney, whereas Disney is creating and redoing all of their classics in live action and kind of rather fucking it up. Fumbling the ball hard. I gotta say, wow, How to Train Your Dragon live action. Not only is it heartfelt, not only does it work, but in many ways, I think I'm going to have to rewatch the original, and now I am inspired. Just like with Lilo and Stitch, now I want to jump in. I want to watch the sequel. I want to watch the third one. I want to see what's coming. I want to see what's coming next. But this film kicked ass. It has a lot of heart. There was emotion in there. I was getting some feelings up in the theater. I was looking at seats next to us. They were just rocking in their chairs, throwing their arms up.
Adults and kids were clapping and cheering and all sorts of stuff.
And I got to say that the film really works. In a way, right? Because it is completely ridiculous. It makes sense in animation. You got these humans fighting dragons, and they're equal sides, and they beat up each other. But, you know, when you put it in live action, you're like, there's no way these tiny little humans can go up against these dragons. The believability is stretched to the absolute limit, and it breaks a little bit here with certain actors and actresses doing their thing against the dragons. In a way that is not a problem in animation. However, everything else I think really works. I think, let's see, Gerard Butler puts in a great performance. But for me...
But he did the voice for it.
He did the voice for it, yeah. And he's picking up right where he left off. But for me, the standout guy is Mason Thames as Hiccup. You need this particular character to work. And he works magnificently. Just this kind of misfit, outcast, misunderstood, scrappy, guy, and you just root for him. And you root for not only him, but Toothless. And the scenes with these two, when they come together, and it just... Gosh, it's rousing. It's whimsical. It is exactly why I go to the movie theaters. I mean, we haven't had this kind of buddy film since, in live action, obviously we've had an animated since Dragonheart. Do you remember Dragonheart with Sean Connery?
Yeah, unfortunately, I remember that one. Yeah.
And this is in live action. It's awesome. I really appreciated it. Now, there are some side characters, I think, here. You know, the Misfit crew, the, what do they call it? The firefighter crew or the dragon fighter. Basically, the next generation of children who are supposed to take over from their parents and continue fighting these dragons. You meet them in the animated series. You meet them here. I think here we get a little less. It works a little less. The believability is a little tough, especially with Astrid's character, played by Nico Parker. I found it really hard to kind of believe her badassery and her tough, exterior, and growing up, having it hard. I'm like, shut up. But eventually, actually, just because it's an extremely well-written story, and it's kind of set up like that a little bit, you grow to like her. But it doesn't mean that some of the side characters aren't, a little weaker in live action. action, whereas the kind of bombastic, goofy, the mannerisms
over the top as well, but like in animation.
In animation, it works.
But this one's just kind of
in live
weird.
action, it's a little weird and muted at certain times. But while there may be those types of moments, the emotions are heightened by excellent actors and acting and the epic scale of live action. Seeing these little humans fight these massive dragons, and it gets massive towards the end if you know the story. And it was a lot of fun. So whereas Disney, I think, is trying to redo everything.
Yes.
And honestly, it's been too long for me to tell you, is this a shot-for-shot remake?
Pretty much.
I think it kind of is from what I remember.
Yeah, it pretty much is. They added some stuff. I think it's like 30 minutes, maybe longer. But it's pretty much shot for shot.
Okay. Whatever they added didn't feel out of place, didn't kick the thing into a completely different direction, doesn't have annoying messaging and modern sensibilities that they're trying to beat you over the head with stuff. This is just a great story. I highly recommend you see it on the big screen. I really liked How to Train Your Dragon. And in many ways, I actually like some of the live action bits better than the animation. Not saying that it's better overall. I think the animated version is better overall. However, it rises some high highs and then there's some lows here. Yeah. So that's how I felt about How to Train Your Dragon. What did you guys think of it?
I thought it was a good remake. It was pretty good stuff. I honestly thought they were going to mess it up like Disney has, but they had the blueprint. They did everything correct. I am surprised with the cast. It was a good casting choice. I liked everyone. I even liked Astrid as well. Good actors here. My only little gripe with the live action stuff is like you don't get the emotion stuff. The facial features kind of toothless. It's more animated there. With this one, it's like, yes, it's like this is a fucking real dragon, so you don't get his emotes, like his emotions and stuff like that. But other than that, I thought it was a very good movie, and Nick Frost was fucking great as well.
Yeah, he's always so good. The bar is so low for these fucking things, and what's crazy is you have these movies, and millions and millions and millions of people love them. And so what Disney does is like, let's change them. And nobody likes that. Nobody fucking likes that. And all DreamWorks had to do was just not fuck it up. And you know what they didn't do? They didn't fuck it up. And they just came out with a movie that kids are going to like, the adults that are with them are going to like. I don't see how this doesn't become a hit for them. And it's ridiculous to me that Disney has continued to fuck this up for at least a decade. And I had to get that out. But I think I did a really good job here. There are characters that I personally know that I don't like, for me, that work animated that don't work in real life. And it's just like, it's kind of like Jack Black is almost a cartoon character in real life, but every now and then it just almost it annoys me. And some of the side characters in this are teetering on that. It's like, this is kind of annoying a little bit, but it's so minor. That's really the only gripe I have with it, is that there are things that don't translate for me from cartoon to live action super well, but I think they did everything else. They did a great job.
They really trusted the story. This is based on the books, and they said, hey, the story was great 15 years ago. We're keeping it 95% of the same because it's great now. It's almost like you're getting a re-release in theaters. However, just a lot more with the cinematography. The CGI is excellent. Only a few small little bits here and there towards the end of the film, like their foot, when they're riding on the dragons from the kid that thinks he's a badass. It's not really a badass when he's kind of laying on some dragons, looking a little off. But I gotta say, overall, really impressive CGI. And what's so interesting is that this, it's funny to say because it's live action, but this world felt real. I loved being in it and living in it. I think it's also really elevated by the score. They had these kind of, I don't know, there's like, it's very it's got, Scottish, Irish, but Vikings, music in there for the battle stuff. And then you've got kind of the Celtic kind of jingles and stuff. And that really plays into when you get these wide sweeping shots of the beautiful scenery. And then one thing that you need to get right is dragon riding. We all know that from, House of Dragons, Game of Thrones style. Did they get the dragon riding right? And I think they did. In fact, they probably accelerated past House of Dragons and dragon riding in that. This is probably the best dragon riding we've ever seen in live action, and it really works. So much of it felt like, just a really good adaptation of an animation. This is probably about as good as you're going to get because, like Joe said, you're never going to get the exact facial expressions. That's the benefit of animation because you can get so much more.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard sometimes to tell how Toothless was feeling.
Yes.
Like,
and I want to do this a little more emotes like you, a little more talky, and he does do that, but a little bit more in that direction would have been even greater for me. So I honestly think this is one of the best live action adaptations of an animation ever. I mean, I don't know what other ones from animation. See, well, that's Sonic and Pikachu. I kind of count those as video games.
Yeah.
This, I mean,
it's up there.
It's up there. It's top 5 easily. I can't even think of any rivals. So I think this might actually be the best for me.
Yeah, I'm thinking as well. Like, I'm looking at this list. It's like if you're thinking about doing some live action stuff, like, what are you gonna do? It's like I don't want them to touch Shrek.
No, they're going to.
But it's gonna be so weird with Shrek.
Dreamworks?
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda, Madagascar.
No! Stop it, Joe. Hell no. Hell no.
Well,
Don't encourage
Well,
them. This one works
suit.
because Viking battles, dragons, House of Dragons. Maybe they were thinking we have
I think they're
in
just
there.
trying to do what Disney's doing, but not fucking it up.
So you're saying like corporate's
said
like,
they're
oh my
doing
God,
Shrek?
they're gonna get the wrong message. This is gonna do. If this does well,
think
they're
it
gonna
will.
go all in on all the live actions. I'm not down for that.
No, I'm not either because it's gonna be weird. Like again, Kung Fu Panda, Madagascar.
You can't.
Puss in Boots.
You can't.
It's just like you can't. You have to stop.
Put Antonio Banderas in like 9 hours of makeup to have him be a cat.
I just don't think they can. So I don't think it's happening.
This one works because it's mostly human characters.
What
And
I think, I don't think do the trilogy.
Yeah.
Because it's already been announced, and I looked it up, that we are getting a sequel already in 2027, June 2027, and I will be seated. That's how good this one was. It hit me in the feels.
It was good.
You got to take your family. This is a great family film. Hell, this is just a good film to watch just for you, And I felt the same way about How to Train Your Dragon when I saw it. It was like a pleasant surprise. I didn't go to the theaters. I just saw it on, VOD at some point and by myself. And I was like, this is great. I wish I was watching this with somebody. So, all right. Well, let's go to final verdicts then.
I would give the animated
I'm sorry.
one.
One other thing.
Yes.
Maybe one of the reasons why it works so well is it was directed by the same person that directed the animated version. So that lends itself well.
I think it works really, really well because you don't have a new person coming in there going, well, I don't want to remake so-and-so's movie.
Right.
I want to put my own stamp on it. And
Like
what stamp do they normally put on it, Joe?
Oh, my God. A mushroom.
A mushroom stamp. And that's why we get, so it's like having the same person involved, I think, is a massive.
Dean DeBlois, I think. All right, sorry, go ahead.
The animated one, I would honestly probably go with the 9. This one, I'm gonna knock it down a little bit. 8 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Again, like I thought it was
bits.
pretty good. Great cast, great acting, but I just I like Toothless more in the animated one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he was more expressive, and it just felt better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't see the animated version, so I'm not comparing it to the other one. I think the only things that I didn't like is it starts a little slow, and I don't necessarily love some of the little side characters at the start. But by the end, I don't know if it's acclamation or just they were less annoying towards the end of the movie. But I think it's a really good. I mean, I don't think it's incredible. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but this is a really good watch. So I think 8 out of 10.
Yeah, so I think the original was a 9, potentially a 10 out of 10 in the original animation. I'd have to rewatch it, so I'm between there, and then I'm searching for reasons not to knock it down from the animation, but I don't necessarily think I do think the animation works overall, if only for the jokes having a tiny bit more impact with the expressiveness on the human characters, and the dragons having a tiny bit more emotions and conveying their human side to the humans in the animation. So I do think it's 1 point lower, but staying that fucking close when you see all of the colossal disasters that are going on in Disney right now is a win. So I'm gonna end, but personally, I'm trying to nitpick it to death here, but I think I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. That's how much I like it and how much I want you to go out and see it. If you like good stories, if you want to feel some emotions, who doesn't like Vikings? Who doesn't like dragons? Now, this is not going to be a lot of battles. That's the thing. In animation, you can do a lot of the actual conflict and swords and shields against, dragons and flying all across the thing. You get a little bit of it, but, that stuff costs a lot of money, so you're not seeing it so much. It is tied more towards Hiccup and Toothless and the arena battles as these kids learn how to deal with dragons in this world. And then the story just unfolds into this epic, huge catalyst for the future. And I think it's just awesome to wade in it and enjoy in it in those feelings. And only some of the believability issues, because it's in live action, you're like, that is physically not possible, so it looks very awkward.
You're riding a dragon.
but in a film where you're riding, so that looks really good. That you buy completely. You even buy the gears and stuff if you know how Hiccup forms the bond with Toothless. But the rest of it and stuff, when you're doing actual battle, they keep it mostly off screen, and they did that at kind of a good idea. But it doesn't mean that there's not a lot of action, because there is. All right, so 9 out of 10. I am going into the spoilers review next, and we could talk a little bit about the characters. I mean, spoilers for a 15-year-old animation, you probably already know. But we can talk about the individual supporting characters and how they did. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section. So going through here, again, you got the awkward son, Hiccup, Mason Thames, perfect. I think this guy, 10 out of 10, perfect embodiment of Hiccup. I might actually like him better than the original Hiccup. That's how much I like the guy. What do you think?
I thought it was a great choice. I still like, it's pretty similar. It's pretty fucking close. Yeah. Because he kind of did sound like Jay. And he did kind of look like the characters. I'll give it to this one.
Nico Parker as Astrid, the love interest. Here's where I had a little bit of issues. Like, this is a skinny twig, and she, more than any other Viking on the film, does battle with dragons. And I'm supposed to buy it.
That's how it was in the animated.
Her fucking attitude. And I know, because she rubs you the wrong way. She's supposed to rub you the wrong way as she slowly opens up. It's a part of the story. But when she's giving her sob story about, oh, you've had a silver spoon in your mouth and everything handed to you, and it's this actress that's beautiful traditionally.
And her mom is super famous and a millionaire, and she's a Nepo baby. And it's very funny that it was her.
Exactly. And I just couldn't unsee it, and she's clean, just dirty her up. Get a different actress that's rougher or tougher or just, a little more, I don't know. But she won me over. And so that is a testament to her acting ability, or the script, the dialogue, and the story itself. So she won me over. However, I still like the animated version of her much better, because I didn't have these kinds of issues with Astrid in the animation. She didn't come with that kind of baggage. She looks the role. What'd y'all think? Then y'all go through some of the other characters.
I thought she was fine. I think all of the kind of side characters are a little annoying because you can tell that they're cartoon characters that they're trying to ham it up in real life, and it's tough because not everything translates super well. But like nothing ever really bothered me. I just thought it was funny that she's like, you had a silver spoon. It's like, that's funny because your mom's famous. The other side characters, the twins, the guy whose dad doesn't want to talk to him, and the guy who knows everything about dragons. Again, they were also kind of like, larger than life, heightened cartoon characters played out in real life. And so didn't love them at first, but, they grew on me and I like them.
I liked them.
Yes. I like them too. But I like them in the animation better, is what I'm saying here. That's the difference I'm saying. No character that I dislike. I like them all. Snotlout Jorgensen, Hiccup's rival, I think did a good job. Fish Legs, Hiccup's best friend. They really play up. They try to get the size of the people right. So Hiccup's dad is huge in the animation. And so to see fucking Gerard Butler as this huge rotund man when he used to be this ripped, jacked Spartan little kicking people down holes, it's hilarious looking. And
he's
same
wearing
thing
like
with
9
Fish
jackets.
Yeah,
it's a little
it's got to
funny.
be like 50 pounds of fucking fur.
I love how he gets the bumbling dragon, the fat little rotund, looks like a pug dog.
It's funny.
Flying in the air. Yeah, it's funny. And it's just in the animation as well. Then you have Rough Nut and Tough Nut. These annoyed me.
Yeah, they're annoying. I think they're supposed to be
they're
annoying.
supposed to be annoying, but like I like them in the animation a little better. And then what else? I guess that's it.
The teacher, Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Nick Frost.
Hagrid.
Did good job. Did good job as Gobber the Belch, the blacksmith and close friend.
Yeah, I really like
keep
some
calling
of his...
him brother? The father character is a brother.
I think it's like Hulk Hogan brother.
Yeah,
like brother.
Brother.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of good one-liners and stuff, and then whenever he's doing a thumbs up, thumbs down with his...
Yeah, very funny.
There's some good jokes there.
Very good jokes with
this character is the Slayer. Who wins the Slayer? No, not her.
Okay.
Oh. It's like, yes.
Yeah. What's some other good jokes? There's a few here and there. It's not like laugh out loud riotous funny. That's other animated stuff. That's other live action stuff. This one just has the heart and the emotion.
Yeah, it's not. It's like he's talking to his dad. He's like, "Oh yeah, my dad's super proud of me." His dad's walking by. He's like, "What I tell you? Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me in public." Yeah.
And then his dad comes home from the first battle when the Vikings are trying to find the dragon den. And he's like, oh, let me carry this. And then dad is just like, fucking, we shouldn't be laughing at that.
But it's just like,
but it's funny.
But he's the bully in the beginning.
Yeah,
and you're like,
so
well,
gets his come up.
And he's annoying.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
Since we are in spoilers, his father does eventually acknowledge him because he sees, oh my God, is that my
massive dragon?
Is that my son?
On the nightmare dragon?
Massive fucking dragon. And this is where I think some works a little better than the animated film. The scope, the size, the epic nature of this. When they arrive on the island and do battle, it's hard to believe that any of these Vikings would win at all against any of the dragons. So when they all come swarming out, you just see how many dragons there actually were, how the Vikings would have had no chance at all, but they're all running from something, and the something that they're running from is essentially the Dragon Queen, which is as big as a fucking mountain.
Yeah.
A volcano. And he does see his son,
good too.
Snotlot or whatever, to poke his eye out with his hammer.
Yeah, the huge-ass dragon, they did a good job with it. I think it was a fucking behemoth.
Yeah. Very cool. Very better than animation.
Cool little battle at the end.
So essentially what it is these, this is a whole society of Vikings versus dragons. They've killed us. We've killed them. Really poignant lines. They've killed hundreds of us. And then his son screams back at him, and we've killed thousands of them. How he knows that exactly. Obviously he knows their history, but it's not like Hiccup told it. But you feel for it. You're like, you become a dragon rider yourself. You become a dragon protector. And when these two sides clash, you're like, no, there's going to be misunderstanding. Please stop misunderstanding each other. Please stop fighting. And this is a good message to have. Please stop fighting.
Well, Last of Us 2 did that. Last of Us 2 did that.
Yeah, please stop fighting.
That's a completely different story, Joe.
It's not the way. What do you mean? It's the same message. It's the same message.
There were
So yeah,
Butler is punching dragons.
Okay, Joe. You wanna play this fucking game with me? Okay. Now in the middle of How to Train Your Dragon, Greg shows up and his praying mantis. And so for the whole film, for half the fucking film, we're hanging out with Greg, who has no personality, who only exists because there's a moral point to make. And we're shoving Greg and his praying mantis in your face when all the cool dragon shit is happening over there. So anyways, moving on. What else?
Yeah, so he discovers Toothless. Toothless can't fly. Do they explain how Toothless does not have a tail and ended up there and was flying in the beginning?
Yeah, because he shot him down and
but how would that rip off? It would probably be as he's slamming into trees and stuff like that.
And then he befriends the dragon, slowly trains it by feeding him, and then they just becomes his dragon rider, and so he realizes that they're not the violent murder machines that he's been led to believe, and then he doesn't want to kill the dragon. So it sets up this conflict between what he's supposed to do and his father, and like his new emotional bond with the dragon.
Yeah, they find out that they have the alpha dragon.
The alpha dragon is the
That's
evil
the only
one.
reason why they're doing it.
The alpha dragon not only treats the other dragons like shit, will eat them if they don't feed him well enough, and that's why the dragons seem to be doing raids on other people, because they could probably eat and not have to fight with the humans. And eventually, if you take out this mother dragon, then we all get a kumbaya and peace. And because the Vikings lost all their Viking ships and they can't get home, and they see, well, we just defeated the queen together, let's work together. And so they ride the dragons back to their home, and then have a community that cooperates. The dragons help rebuild, their society, and their cohabitating almost as pets and as partners, and it's awesome. I love it. It's a great message. I also liked another good joke was when his father comes back, and because Hiccup has been learning all these tips and tricks because he's watching Toothless, he's able to take these strategies. Oh, I love this montage. This is a really well executed and film montage where he's able to win in these little challenges, whereas otherwise he would be the last one to win. And so everybody's impressed with him. Everybody wants to talk with him. Everybody wants to learn from him. And when his father comes back from trying to find the dragon nest and killing them, and he's defeated, he learns, hey, there's a good thing. My son is no longer a fuck-up, and everybody loves him. And now he is a man, and he is draining. And so he gives him a helmet. And he takes the helmet, and he's like, it's made from your mother's breastplate. And you can see that like a booby, and he's wearing his booby, and he's like, your mother, I'm always keeping her close. He's got a booby breastplate, and she must have had some huge tatas because his dude is big-ass head. And so he's got the helmet, and then later on he refers to the helmet as a...
breast hat or something.
Yeah, breast hat. It's like, I gotta get my breast hat. Thank you, Dad, for this breast hat. And that made me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
What else? So meanwhile, these kids are learning in the arena, and Astrid is being an asshole because she's like, I'm going to be the next chief, and you just silver spoon in your mouth, and I'm going to win this Dragon Slayer thing. But she's kind of surprised at how he's, she says something like, get under his skin, and he's like, okay. You want to live in my house? I don't care. You'd make a great one. I'm like, I like this kid. You like instantly like him, and that's the best way to get to somebody like that. They're like, all right. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. Wait, what? So she's so confused, and then she's noticing this guy's getting more intelligent. Something's going on. She follows him and to their little hideout, and she discovers it, and she tries to attack Toothless, but he easily, knocks her aside. And they go on this kind of flight together so that she can understand Toothless more. And Toothless has a little bit of a grudge against her, so he's going fast. And then he's also like, and her height, she'd put her on a rock. It's scary. And but eventually she says, okay, I'm sorry, Toothless. When she says sorry, apparently the dragon can understand English. It's all emotions. The dragon can understand the emotions. He's been talking a lot with Hiccup, and he relaxes. And then it becomes this really nice fucking flight and journey. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And she's like, I'm going to keep your secret. I understand. And then she becomes this roadblock, and then she turns into a fucking support stone for our main characters. Yep. And eventually a love interest for Hiccup.
Mm-hmm. Then they get married. Then they get married. The next one, probably, right?
Probably. I don't know.
I think they do.
You tell us. And, okay, but what was the type of dragon they used to call this thing?
The Night Fury?
Night Fury, yeah. I think it's a Night Fury. And so they've got this big book. They got all the different dragon types, but the Night Fury dragon type is the type that hasn't been written. The after credit scene is weird in this one because it just repeats a scene that we've already seen. So it's not worth staying after. They do these nice sweeping shots during the credits, and then they just replay a scene from before where he was about to draw, the Hiccup as the Night Fury. It kind of redoes that scene. I don't know. Does that mean anything for the sequel? I haven't seen the sequel, or at least I don't remember seeing the sequel. But that's good, because now it's like, fuck, okay, now I want to rush out and watch 2 and 3, but at the same time, maybe I don't want to ruin it. This one did it right, yes. That's the main thing. A well-done live-action adaptation. How well is it going to do in the theater? I don't know.
Super well.
I think it would be.
There's so many fucking people at the theater. It's Thursday at 2, and the parking lot was full.
Good.
And so
I was just worried that, a project like this would kind of get past. Oh, I've already seen it. And you look at the poster from far away. It looks like it's animated still.
Yeah, I was shocked.
And you look up close. You're like, oh, that's live action.
There were 2 grown women two seats away that were clapping and laughing and having the best time. And all the kids because we see a lot of movies with kids. Yeah. And the kids, a lot of the times, Lele were not into a lot of the movies we've seen. We just it's weird that the kids were excited about this movie. Adults were excited about this movie. I think word of mouth is going to carry. They're going to do real well.
So, a lot of reasons to see it, including the music, the visuals, the acting, and it's a well-done animated adaptation. So, that's it. I can't think
the CGI-er.
There's they did the CGI-er?
Yes.
No, it doesn't work.
That's what they did.
It's more realistic CGI than cartoony CGI. Another thing, it's a little hard to accept. Okay, so all the Vikings are on their Viking ships. They're going to go do battle. And then Hiccup is back at home. He's like, how do we, do this? And then he's like, well, you usually do something stupid. And he's like, well, I already did that. And then okay, now do something crazy. So he does something crazy. Well, what is the crazy he does? He teaches how everybody to dragon ride in 15 seconds. and then 1 minute and 37 seconds later, they have a dragon bond. Whereas you buy his dragon bond because it was over time.
Well, Toothless is a Night Fury, and they're way more dangerous, so that's why he took longer. And these ones are simple dragons.
Bam, he fixed it.
So you're saying
I have no idea. I never saw the first one.
Happens instantly.
Almost, yeah.
It hasn't fixed it yet. But it's more that, I'm having such a great time. It doesn't matter. It's a suspension
of disbelief. He did drop a line where he's like, it's going to be a long night, saying that they're doing it for a long period of time. But yeah, they did it in a minute.
So then you have, and so then all the kids show up, and then these, misfits are the ones that take on the queen. They do several things to distract.
And the Misfits did spend weeks with these dragons.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I wanted to ask, and I don't know if it's more clear in the animated version, the Vikings take Toothless on their boat. And they go, but how do they get Toothless to tell them where the fucking nest is? Because they just know where it is.
See, that I kind of forgot, but I guess he was looking around. He was kind of staring. I was like,
Joe.
What?
No.
That's what it looked like he was doing.
I guess maybe they imply they poke him until he tells them, but I don't think Toothless would tell them where the fucking nest is. So I think it's kind of left a little hanging.
because he was looking at him. He started doing something, so then he grabbed the steering wheel, and he's watching him.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
So Toothless is that stupid Did he just
That's what I got from that scene. That's the scene they did. He's like looking at him.
That's
every
the other
time he
little thing
moved,
that I
he
was
moves.
like, huh? I do like that all the other dragons respect Toothless because his fucking dragon breath is way more powerful
cool.
than everybody's, and it's cool as shit. And so they kind of stay out of his way. They
Yeah.
bow to him and leave. He's like the alpha, except for the ultra alpha, which is the queen. But yeah, now we have everything covered. Let us know. Have you seen it yet? What did you think? And do you think this is one of the better adaptations? Do you think it's as good as, better, worse? What do you think? Leave it in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching. And we will see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.